Okie dokie. So now this is live. So this is recorded, and once we're done, everything will go on the channel on YouTube for you to watch. So welcome. This is the fourth dog hangout. It's a company full of dudes. What are the ladies? There were supposed to be some ladies around to make the whole panel a little more beautiful. A lot of beards, as you can see, a lot of mustaches. That's cool. So you can, Kyle and Bulen, you can switch on your camera if you want. We can see your very beautiful faces. So this is something that's happening every month. It's a very informal hangout, and we're just discussing different things. It's 3:15 now, UK time. We're getting started, so we're going to finish in around. We're going to wrap up in around an hour. No camera, all right, Bulen, no worries. So we're just discussing. We're picking one simple subject every month, and that's a good chance for us to get to know each other, since we're all here in the same mastermind community with the same goals, to proceed with a more well-informed way in our music career. So it's really good to have chats like this. We'll have more stuff in the future, more interactive stuff, but now this is as interactive as we can be. The subject today, I'll be just the moderator, by the way. The subject today is about what are your goals for the next 6 months? And I think that it was quite popular. Probably because we all want to know how we're going to deal with our schedule for the next months and what we should go for. Kachin, I still cannot hear you, sorry. So, we'll start going really quick, like a very short introduction. I would like you to take like 10-15 seconds so we can have time to talk and introduce yourselves, like who you are, where you're from, and some random comment. I love cupcakes. All right, so let's start with Bulent. So, Bulent, if you can unmute yourself, tell us.
Can you hear me?
Good. Oh, yes, I can hear you, Kachin.
All right.
All right, I'm muting you now. You're coming second. All right, so, Bulent, can you introduce yourself, please? Okay, so he cannot hear us. Bulent cannot hear us. All right, Kachin, your turn. So, can you tell us your name, where you're from, and a random fact about you?
All right, yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Kachin Celis. I'm from Argentina. Nowadays living in the city of Madrid, Spain. I'm now Tommy for what 2.5 years, I think. Growing together and building this global community with all of you. So really excited to be here.
Good. All right, now I'm going to mute you now. Now, Dinas, your turn. Can you unmute yourself, Dinas, please?
Unmuted now?
Yes.
Okay, hi, my name is Dinas. I'm a singer-songwriter, and I'm from the fine city of Toronto, Canada. And I like squirrels, not for consumption, but for observation.
Perfect. All right. Hello, Dinas. Welcome to the community. Now, the next one is Elton. Please unmute yourself and let us know who you are.
Hi. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
My English is not so good, so I will try to make myself understood. Well, I'm Brazilian, from Brazil. I am here. I live in Brazil. I'm a drummer, and I work. Right now, I have no band. I left my band for few weeks, and I work for the last 5 to 6 years in digital marketing, selling any type of products. And on the last few weeks, I decided to use what I learned on the digital marketing to help to exchange the music marketing here in Brazil. And I'm very excited to be here with you.
Perfect. All right. We'll talk privately as well, so I can get to know more about what you do. I'm muting you now. Guilherme. So please unmute yourself and explain who you are. You're still muted, Guillermo. There should be a button up on the screen that says unmute.
Okay,
Right.
now it should be working. It's working now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm Guilherme Piedade. I'm from Portugal, currently living in Stockholm. I'm a drummer and also a singer-songwriter. And I just finished a master's degree now, and I'm currently looking for a job.
Okay. Hello. So, and you live in Sweden. All right. So, muting Guillermo. Kyle Williams, it's your turn now. If you can unmute yourself and let us know about you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, so my name is Kyle Williams. I live in Long Beach, California, United States. I've been playing guitar for a really long time, singing for a little bit less. So I've done some kind of singer-songwriter stuff, acoustic shows. I run Seeds of Music, which is an interview show for musicians. I also run an open mic, and right now I'm learning music production because my passion is kind of fallen away from rock and stuff and music like that into electronic music production. So I'm doing a lot, learning a lot. So yeah. Random fact. I have a huge passion for video games as well. So I feel like no matter how old I'll get, I'll probably never stop playing them. Yeah. So
You get you angry. There is a father that is destroying the video game collection of his son with a lawnmower.
With a lawnmower? Yeah. I can't. I'm like wondering if that's fake because I can't believe the kid's reacting that way.
Probably the father is dead already. So.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Kyle. Muting you now. Now, Nick, if you can unmute yourself and let us know who you are.
Hey, folks. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. I'm Nick from Toronto as well. I've got an electroacoustic opera I wrote will be premiering in 5 days.
Wow.
That's exciting for me, and I'm looking forward to working on a solo set for micro venues, which would be kind of singer-songwriter / sound art stuff. Fun fact, squirrels ate my raspberry bush. So, you know, you got to do something about your squirrels.
Yeah, okay.
Nice to meet you.
I think that's a very interesting fact. Nice to meet you. Welcome to our community. And meeting you now. Good. And the last one, but not least, Nikos.
Here.
Hello, Nikos.
I'm Nikos. I'm from Greece. I'm a sound engineer and trying to be a producer as well. I'm also a drummer and main drummers here today. And I plan to move to the UK and pursue a career there. That's actually the big plan for me. That's all. I
All right, good. So we have 1 to 3 drummers today.
Yes.
Is that it? So Elton, Guillermo, and Nikos. That's 3 drummers, and we have 2 guys from Toronto, and we have 1 guy from California. And the last person, all right. And Bulent, can you hear us now? Can you unmute yourself and let us know about you? Okay, I'm not sure if Bulent can hear us.
Yeah. Yes,
Hello.
My name's Bulent. I'm a music blogger stroke online music promoter from London, or near London. And I'm also a big science fiction fan.
Nice. All right, welcome, Bulent. Welcome to our chat. And guys, let's keep it like this. So whenever we're chatting, you're muting yourselves, and then you go and you talk. So let's go straight ahead to the main question today. Why I picked this question is because most of us are just a little bit unclear about the direction we're taking, and I thought that we all have great ideas, but it's not just about the ideas, it's about the flow, the direction we're taking. So by having each one of you explain the goal for the next 6 months, it's a great way to direct actions towards something specific and more concrete, not just think about creative ideas and then boom, go for them. I think this is the tipping point between being a businessman and a musician, an artist, is about having the creative vision, but also being able to direct it to a flow to streamline all this value towards business. And having a goal, having a vision, and being able to break it down in smaller bits, it's very essential part of it. I realized that the hard way, where I just started I saved some money, and then I thought I should go for it, without a plan, and just realize what I want to do along the way. It took me, it went fast, basically, because I was working all the time, but I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a direction, a specific direction, which I should have set up. Now in hindsight, I know that I should have done this when I started. So let's get started from Nikos, from the other hand, from the right side. Nikos, if you can unmute yourself and let us know, first of all, do you think we should have a direction, and what is your direction? I think let's aim for 5 minutes per person so we can make sure we all talk, and then we'll go to the second round with the next question. So Nikos, if you can get closer to the camera, to the mic, so we can hear you louder.
Wait a second. A bit better now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Actually, I think it's very important to have a long-term goal as a main target, and then have other short-term targets in between the long-term. This way, you can have very nice planning to where you want to go, actually, and you have the opportunity to adapt in new things that you may find in your way. My planning is not really a specific one, actually, because I'm not sure what I'm going to meet in the UK. I'm gonna live in about 1 month. I'm having some nice people around London, Manchester, and those cities where I'm going to have my meetings and maybe find a job for them. I have to do my paperwork, and stuff like this. And probably in those 6 months, I will manage to find a day job, if possible, if I don't have the success in my career, actually. Not career, job, actually. Yeah, that's the plan, but it's not a specific one because I still don't know what I'm going to meet. I have it in my mind, but
Mm-hmm.
However, the long-term goal for me, as an example, is to have a nice career on sound engineering in the UK. But for example, the short-term target would be to be able to sustain myself in UK and have an amount of money, income every month, and fuel them the road to the success, let's say.
Right, so in a nutshell, just so you all guys know, so Nikos is about to make a step and move to the UK to pursue his career as a sound engineer and probably as a drummer. So now I would like to ask you all if you have any similar experience to give some advice to Nick really quick, because he's going through a threshold in his life, where he's changing a lot of things rapidly. And is there any advice that you would give to Nikos about this from your experience? Just raise your hand so I can see that, and unmute yourselves so you can talk to Nikos. Okay, Kachin, yeah?
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Hey, Nikos, how are you doing, man? I was listening to you, and I know what you're talking about, and what you're about to live right now, because I moved here to Spain 2 months ago,
Mhm.
um, searching more or less the same things I do, to evolve as a human being and to evolve as a musician, of course.
Right.
And the thing is, my advice is, uh, whatever you're planning, in terms of time, of timeline, uh, save save the double of time, for the contingencies. So if you're planning, all right, so I want to be the local sound engineer of a pub of our studio, and I will achieve it in 3 months. All right, think about 6 months,
Ah, okay.
because yeah, because
You
things
never
that
know.
things that in Greece maybe are, you have it there at hand, as me in Argentina. Your place, the apartment, the sofa, the plumber, the Wi-Fi, everything. It will be not the work is not harder. And please don't get me wrong, it's a huge and big step you're making, and it's so excited. And that's your project for the now, for the 6 months coming. That's your main project, and that's amazing. It's just an advice to think about to double the time you plan. Just just because everything will become a little bit, at the beginning, and then it will start flowing.
Yeah, I get it. Don't worry.
Yeah. I
That's why I said about the short-term targets, because if you set short-term targets, you can encounter everything, any difficulty you can have in between them until the long-term target. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's the plan actually.
Okay, that's
Thanks.
great. So Kachin, just some background about Kachin. He moved from Argentina to Madrid a few months ago. So now he was in the same page like Nikos, who moved from Greece to the UK. All right. So let's go to Nick from Toronto. Nick, if you can unmute yourself and let us know, what is your approach in terms of next 6 months? Do you like planning short term? Is 6 months short term for you, or is it long term? Tell us a few things. Make a comment about this and unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me okay? Okay. Um, 6 months, I guess, for me is kind of short term. And my intention is kind of minimal, I'm hoping. I have to juggle a fair amount of things. I've got kids, and so what that means is you master the art of sort of micro planning and finding little openings to slot things in. So my plan really is to do a very simple, well, it won't be that simple, but it'll be a solo set that's very manageable, with not too much gear, um, and try and make it really tight. And part of the reason I'm doing a solo thing is because it takes time and effort to get people together, and then it takes even more time to set up venues, and then you got to make more money per gig. So I'm trying to keep it really minimal because that's all I really have time for, and it's all I can really risk for. And I'm choosing micro venues for two reasons. Well, three in a way. One, I don't really like playing big venues. I like little venues. It took me a long time to learn that actually I'm much more comfortable, play better, and I'm happier when I can really see the people I'm playing to. The other thing is, it gives me the opportunity of really just going to friends, hey, I'll play your place. And I'm really happy to do that. I'm not going to be bringing in a band. I'm not going to be bringing in a drum kit. I'm going to be bringing in just me and some gear, and it doesn't have to be a big ordeal. That also gives me the opportunity to experiment. You know, I can make a mess of things, learn, enjoy, and those are all things that are really important to me. And the other thing is the idea of starting really minimal, starting from a grassroots network, starting with people I know, often love, and that to me is just like, you know, get a little tiny fire going, get a little micro fire going. You know, you got your little bits of kindling, and then you can bring in bigger sticks if that seems to be where it goes. You know, and the, you know, the folks that I play to, maybe they know somebody else I can go play to. Just trying to get the thing to spread word of mouth. And I don't have time to handle a big transformation. I've got other things I have to manage. So if it starts out really small, I'm really happy. You know, I just want it to have something that it'll bring me in a little bit of money. That would be really good. But I don't anticipate it supporting me completely at all, not for a while. But if I can just get it, you know, floating itself off the ground, really lightweight, I'd be really happy about that, and I'll just keep slowly building on that. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, very, very interesting. The micro venues, I like this approach. Does anybody have any advice for Nick at the moment? Like, from what he said, for the next 6 months, can you relate to that, or can you offer some advice on how he can make his plan better, or what he should aim for? Any comments? Just raise your hands. And Kachin and Nikos, you're disqualified because you've talked already. Okay, Elton, yes, please unmute yourself and talk to me.
Actually, I have a question. Did you plan to organize the micro venues, or to get someone to contract to get you on their venue, or you make them?
So it's like, I think the question is, do you Nick, do you plan to do it yourself, or do you have somebody else to do it for you? Is that correct?
Oh, it's if they will organize and rent a place and make all the thing to on the micro venue, or if he will search for some places to contract him.
Can you hear me? I would be I'd do the organizing largely myself, because, you know, again, I'm going to be starting small, but I do have to work out an arrangement so that, you know, there's a kind of a contract in place, even if it's with friends. You know, you want to make sure that everyone feels happy about what's going down, everybody knows what to expect, so that's important, and I haven't done that yet. I haven't, like, written up a little contract or a little, like, blurb going, this is what I need in this space, this is what I'll do, this is how long it'll take, this is how much I would like to make, those kinds of things. So I need to write that out. I'm a digital communications professional, so, you know, I need to set up a little web page going, hey, this is what I do, but that's something that I can manage pretty comfortably. But at this point, I don't anticipate needing a manager. You know, I've always be nice to someone. Yeah, sure. You know, I'll do that for you. But because it's just more work, right? But I anticipate doing that myself to start with. That's a great question.
So Nick, just a little comment here before we move to Kyle. At the end, I'm going to share with you like a little approach on this that is going to work with your projects. But I think, especially with your project, where you need to contact a lot of venues to organize things, it will work perfectly. And yeah, I'll share with you a little bit later. So let's hear. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Elton. So let's hear Kyle. So Kyle, if you can unmute yourself and let us know about your approach for the next 6 months and what is short-term or long-term for you.
Well, to be honest, like I have a long-term vision, and then what I do is I have this booklet here that I keep goals on a month-to-month basis. And what I do is, and I kind of got this from a really good friend of mine who is an entrepreneur and is pretty much kind of self-actualized his own life and is working on his passions and has freedom of time and mobility. So it's one of his suggestions that I've adapted from. And so basically at the beginning of the month, I'll sit down and I'll write out just I'll have a huge list of things that I would like to accomplish, and I'll compare them to that long-term vision and find the 80-20 of those goals, like which goals are going to get me the most of the way there. And I'll divide, and those goals aren't just for music themselves, they're for like all aspects of my life. And I'll divide them into a couple of different categories, like creativity, so things that have to do with music creation go in there, wealth, how I'm generating income, health, which obviously is the physical health, mental health, personal development, that's kind of self-explanatory, and then play, which is allowing myself time to just excuse me, do stuff for fun. Apologize if I start coughing because I've been sick. So yeah, like my overall vision, like is to eventually be a composer for video games while also being an accomplished solo electronic musician, traveling and performing that. So I know where I want my income streams to be. I want to have a large portion of my income to be coming from music licensing, but also the various incomes that you would have if you were a performing artist. So breaking that down, I guess if I had to chunk a goal into like 6 months, I'd say for right now, for me, it'd be important to, it'd be amazing in 6 months to be only generating income from sources that I enjoy, because I still work a day job, and at least still my largest source of income is a job that doesn't lean on my strengths and that I don't enjoy. It's just like a fish out of water. So even if it wasn't something within the music business, I think it gives you confidence and energy, and it's not a psychological drain when you're getting paid for some kind of work that you enjoy. So and really just getting to that point, it's like having this system where I have these monthly goals that are divided up into these different categories, and I check them like every day. I look at them and I read them over, and I also have a whole morning routine that it kind of primes myself to get in the right mindset, because for me, I'm finding more and more that setting goals is very important, but it's cultivating the mindset to achieve those goals and the confidence is to me more important than that, because I feel like eventually, and I've seen this with my good friend, is that he can sometimes, like for a month, he'll set no goals, and then somehow he will achieve more. It's very interesting. So yeah, that's and sometimes I don't achieve the goals because I set them. It's challenging. I always make sure it's not way too easy, but it's not insanely hard. But there's a good chance I could fail if I'm not managing my time well and getting on the ball with it.
So in general, like you've dropped a lot of gems around. In general, I think that goals is yes, go muted. Setting up goals is all about managing expectations. There's nothing more than that. That's how I think about it. What do you guys think about like what Kyle said? He mentioned long-term vision and beginning of the month, writing a few goals and then comparing them, picking the right ones, and then his goal is to have a part-time living out of what he loves doing in 6 months, and also he needs to be disciplined with a routine, and the right mindset to hit his goals. Any comments on that? We have like Dinas, we have Guilherme, we have Bülent that haven't talked so far. Do you guys have any comments, or anybody else in general? Just raise your hand. Guilherme, is that correct? Oh, and Dinas as well. Okay, let's go, Guilherme. Can you unmute yourself, please? And then Dinas goes have a comment. Guillermo, I cannot hear you, so if you can go up and unmute yourself. No, no. All right. Yes, now you're okay. Now you can talk.
Ah, okay. Well, it seems like a very good plan. I mean, if you take the goals that seem to get you closer to your goal first, so you take each step first, that it's the most important to get you where you want to be. It seems like a very organized way of doing things. But I don't know. I really don't know what to say in this case. Um, I mean, I think myself. Well, I think it keeping a part-time job could be helpful in the sense of funding a lot of things you might do in your musical career, um, to help you get started and get the money you need. So, I mean, I would consider quitting the job only when you're sure that the rest of it can actually make up for what you get out of the job. Uh,
But also at the same time, if you keep your job and you have your safety, let's say you feel more comfortable not doing more. While if you don't have a job and you don't have the safety, you know that you have to get done what you need to do, and then you push yourself to work harder, and you push yourself to the limits. Let's say that is just a food for thought. There's no real answer. It's all very personal. And Dinas, what is your? Thank you, Guillermo. Dinas, what is your perspective on things? Any comment on Kyle's plans?
Yeah, it's actually a book recommendation. I read a really good book, and as a musician, I related to it. It's by Scott Adams, and he is the cartoonist, actually, who did the Dilbert series of cartoons, if anyone knows that. And his
Can you
book
write it
is
in the
about...
chat as well, so we can include it in the resources?
Sure. Scott Adams, and it's How to Fail at Everything and Still Succeed Massively. I think that's what it's called. I just typed it's How to Fail at Everything. And it's about goal setting. And you know what? I've read the book twice now this year, and I've kind of become a believer. He says, go easy on the goal setting that you might have, which is this is the theme of the call, actually, and try and focus on systems versus goals. And he emphasizes in the book the advantage of working a little system. And by system, perhaps that's a discipline, something that you for sure do, maybe daily, maybe every week, and you're working towards something. It's in your world of specialty, so in our case it would be music something, right? And go easy on the deadlines for the goals, because if you have a solid number like 6 months, like Kyle, first of all, I mean, I've often lived that way, and it can be successful, a deadline like that. But more often than not, it seems that people miss them, right? Someone else earlier was talking about achieving something in 3 months, and then I think Nico said, double that time. My point is, if you focus on a system versus a goal and a timeline, you could be more successful. So don't take my word for it. Take it from this ultra successful guy, Scott Adams, in his book, How to Fail at Everything and Still Succeed Big. It's really a worthwhile read. It's available in an audiobook format too, which is what I do, so I can multitask. I can study while I'm doing other things like going to the gym. And that's it, just something to check out.
Great, that's great tips, Dinas. Thank you for that. And thanks for if you can write the book. Okay, you wrote the book. Yes, I will include it in the resources. Meanwhile, Nick has shared a video game company opportunity with Kyle, and Nick mentioned "Fail, Try Harder, Fail Better" by Samuel Beckett. This is awesome, and I can relate to what Dinas says. I can also relate to what Kachin said about having double the time. It's all about the approach, like the mindset. Because let's say taking from the book, what's the book? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Probably you know that. It's all about having a definite goal. By that time, I will achieve this, and there is no way you can change that plan. The goal, you don't care. You don't know what the plan is going to be. Eventually, because you brainwash yourself to be thinking about the specific goal by that specific time all the time, the plan reveals itself, and you fail a lot because you need to find a way to make it happen. So again, that's my approach. I like pushing myself to the boundaries, and I quit my job and had some savings, and then I tried to make things work, and then now things work, right? So it's all about the approach. Elton, you want to make a comment as well? Yes, unmute yourself, please.
Oh, I have some things to say. One is that one way that I used to make things when I have a goal and I have to make it work. I prepared this scenario to have two shots. I never make. I don't have confidence in one just shot. What I'm trying to say is, if you have 6 month goals, make something to work on 4 months and try it, and then you have 2 months to try another thing and to make some adjustments and try again. Don't make just one try. It's very dangerous. One thing. Another thing is one way you could. People said that keep the job or maintain the job. You have another option that it's find another job that takes less time. Uh, Reduce your wage. Work on something that let more time to your music, and it's a if you are not comfortable with the extreme options, you could find something in the middle. And the last thing is before you move, define your business model. Uh, how you will make money with that. Don't start to making. If you quit the job, it's more important. Don't quit the job until you have the business model. How you will make money with your music business. It's that.
Great, Elton. That's amazing tips. I can relate to them. Thank you for sharing. So, in a nutshell, Elton mentioned to have a time buffer instead of going for 6 months. So we can see the opposite of Kachin. So instead of going for 6 months and instead of aiming for 6 months and going for 12 months, Elton says instead of 6 months, go for 4 months and then have some time buffer of 2 months to do something else or to just in case it fails. So push yourself even harder. He also mentioned find a job that you can spend less time on. Probably you get less money, but also this pushes you to work harder on your music and on your career, and you don't have a little bit of safety. You have some safety, but not all the way through. So that pushes you psychologically to get more work done, to make things work, and then have a business goal, a business model, and refine it along the way, and make sure that you are there and you're thinking about your business model. That is great. Thank you for your tips, Elton. I will include them in the resources. We also have Benjamin that joined. So Benjamin, what we're doing at the moment, we are just spending time to explain our goals for the next 6 months, and we give advice on each other. So you'll come, check out the conversation, and you'll come last. So we have Guillermo. Guillermo, really quick, can we hear your goals for the next 6 months and your approach? Please unmute yourself.
It should.
Yes, now we can hear you. No, we cannot hear you now. You muted yourself again. I think Guillermo and Mute are in fights today. Right.
Now it's good, right? Okay. So my goals for the next 6 months. So since I've finished studying now, I just finished my master's degree in music. But I'm in a different country, and I've been finding out that I don't speak Swedish yet. So that's a big problem here, even though everyone speaks English. So I'm currently looking for a part-time job, just so I can pay my rent and my food, but yeah, just a part-time job. And then as a singer-songwriter, explore try to play in as many places as I can, like the various open mic sessions, and one good thing to do that has been giving me some good results is to open up for other bands who have already an audience established, and they get me in touch with other musicians and other venues, and so that seems to be helpful. I want to set up a band to play my own songs, and what I'm thinking of doing to achieve that is to set up a cover band first with those musicians, and so we have gigs that actually pay some money, and then out of that band see who would like to be part of my main project and maybe take it further. Then I would like to start releasing, at least one new single, one new song until then, and maybe one video, and establishing a website. So those are my goals for the next 6 months.
Sorry. I muted myself and I fell in the trap that Guillermo was in. All right. So good stuff, Guillermo. So any comments on Guillermo? He has a lot of things on his plate. It seems he's planning a lot of things. What advice would you give to Guillermo? Again, please raise your hands and talk to him. So Nick, and because I see we have like 20 more minutes, let's say, let's keep like our goals for the next 6 months. Let's keep it for 1 or 2 minutes, and then let's have more time to converse. So Nick, yes, we're all ears.
Just a quick question for Guillaume. I'm wondering how difficult it is to be a singer-songwriter. I'm assuming you're not singing in Swedish. Is that a challenge, an extra challenge?
No, actually, here in Sweden, they are very open to English-speaking singers. They actually have a lot of artists that sing in English, and there's a tight connection with America because they had a lot of Swedish people migrate to America. I think in the 50s, I believe. So even ABBA, for instance, and Roxette and the Cardigans, they're all from here. The Hives, they all sing in English, and they're very famous here and around the world.
So yeah, this is a place. I mean, it's like Norway, places like Norway, Sweden, Denmark, or Netherlands. They are very English culture oriented. So it's quite easy for an English-speaking singer-songwriter to adapt, to the lifestyles. Any other comments for Guillermo, or any advice? Any questions? So again, Ben and Bulent, if you would like to make a comment, please write it in the chat so we know you want to make a comment. I have a comment, if you may allow me. It seems for me, like the way you present it, looks like there is a lot of things on your plate. Personally, whenever I don't know, maybe it's the way that I perceived it, or maybe it's the way it is. But as a potential threat, once you immerse yourself into a lot of multiple goals on the same time, maybe you get a little bit lost. You know, it's about managing the expectations. So maybe you want to remove a few things, a few bits. So in the next months, you can set 3 major goals and then you can go for them and achieve them. Or you can say, all right, I'll keep all the 6 goals, let's say, but I'm going to prioritize them. So I'll spend, as you know, the percentage of time I'll spend on the number 1 goal is going to be 3 times more than the number 6 goal. So you know how you can manage your time. It's all about managing expectation, time, resources. So that's my kind of micro advice on that.
Okay, great.
Any other advice on Guillermo before we move to Elton? All right. Thank you, Guillermo. And I'm muting you now, so because you have problems with muting, so I'll do it for you. And Elton, please unmute yourself and really quick, let us know where you're at and what you're planning to do in the next 6 months.
Okay, I have in personal goals. I left my band and now I'm studying more music and want to put some music on my own lyrics. And on the business, I'm working with two bands, and we create a business model that we will try to make some money with affiliate marketing and info products. And on the next 6 months, we want to validate or not that business model. That's all.
Okay. If you have any links, just write it in the chat so we can see your work. Because I went on your profile and there was not a lot of information in terms of your own music. Now we can see the drum kit back there, so that's right. All right. So any comments or any questions for Elton? Or Elton, actually, do you have any questions for us, or any problems that you think you might have in the next 6 months?
Right now, I don't have those questions.
Right. Okay. Any comments on Elton's? Is that Kachin and Nick? Kachin, is that no? Okay. Anyway, all right. Yes, please unmute yourself, Nick.
Yeah, Elton, I just was wondering if maybe you can tell us a tiny bit more about, if it's not like secret information, about your business model. Because it sounds like you've thought it through and you've got some other folks you're working with. For one, do you know the folks well? I guess that's a starter question. And then what kind of business models are you thinking of working in?
Well, we'll try to approach. One is it's affiliate marketing. I don't know if you know what is that. It's just the bands have some funds, and those funds usually want to learn. Wait. Those funds usually want to learn some music too. There are a lot of music courses online, and they could recommend for their list those courses and receive 30 to 50 percent on having if they pay to $500 for a course, the band receives 250 for example. There are that market here in Brazil.
Sorry, the question is that affiliate marketing you're talking about?
Yeah, affiliate marketing. And on the next step is that the band could create their own products and sell directly to the fans. One of the bands I'm working with is a reggae band, and the guitar will make some guitar courses on the niche of reggae, and so for them. we'll try to make some money on those two models because it's some fast money, and they don't need to have a great number of funds. With some funds, they could offer it to them.
Okay, so perfect. So your question, Nick, got answered. Elton is working on affiliate marketing on some music courses, music production courses, whatever this might be. That could be quite expensive, and also they're creating their own products in terms of courses. Quite nice. All right, Dinas, your turn, mate. Tell us about your approach for the next 6 months and how you think of 6 months in general as a duration. You know, is it big? Is it small? Is it good enough?
Okay, sure. Speaking of books, I mean, I'm a big fan of studying people who have figured stuff out, so I don't waste any time figuring everything out on my own, but putting my own twist on it. So I've been reading a book by this business guy called Jay Abraham. It's called The Sticking Point, and it's about techniques to take when your business is stuck. So related to this call, I've got 4 major things I'm working on thanks to this book to move my music business along. One is to study analytics more than you have in the past, perhaps. I've got 2 websites. So I recently studied the traffic on it, and I was noticing that a lot of people are going to the custom songs page. I'll write and produce a custom song, but I'm not having a lot of purchases there. So, you know, I reevaluated the page, and I thought, yeah, I can see why the photo sucks. I don't have a price there. I don't have good demos. I literally have a link to 1 demo. So my short-term goal, amongst other goals, studying now that the customer, quote unquote, wants custom songs, is I'm going to finish 2 productions, or rather improve 2 productions I made for people that were custom songs, and make them very high quality, post them there, put a price there, put a better photo and better information. So, I mean, we know how to, you know, to make a world-class recording takes time, so for sure that's going to take a few weeks to do 2 songs start to finish. I mean, they're written and there's arrangements and all that, but I have to really improve them. So that's one thing. The other thing is merging my websites. I have had 2 websites. One is like for me, the artist, and the other is for kind of the speaking thing I do. I mix public speaking with playing songs. I'm modeling this guy in California called Tiamo, and if anyone wants to check him out, Tommy, we talked about this. You know about him too. And anyway, again, studying analytics, the traffic between the 2 websites, it doesn't make any sense for me to have the second website. Like, so there's way more stuff going on at my main website, Dinas.com, and it's an older website, so there's tons of links there, I can tell, from all over the web. So basically, my other short-term goal is to fold down my second website and stick it in my primary website. And hopefully, after studying all these analytics about where people are going and what they're doing, I'm going to make a lot more shit happen on my main website.
Okay, I really like it because we have diversity of plans here, and what Dinas just expressed is that he is studying his already existing business, and he's trying to find ways to declutter it and to make it work better. You know, so instead of just like, for example, Guillermo was planning to grow. You know, that was the stage of growth, while Dinas is in the stage of bringing more value in the existing system and seeing what he can improve. Is that correct, Dinas?
Yeah, quite correct.
Great. Okay, I'm going to mute you now. And is there any advice that you would like to give to Dinas, or any questions you have about him? Let me see. Anybody that would like to ask something? I have a question to ask, but anybody? I can see alignment with resources towards goals, says Nick. Any question for Dinus? No? Okay, I'm gonna... Dinus, can you unmute yourself? Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do with a music keynote, let's say, that you do, so everybody can understand why what you do is so special?
Sure. I write original songs, and every song has a theme or a topic of conversation. What I tend to do at a live show is I'll loop the middle of the song and integrate the audience with the song, either by wandering into the audience with a microphone and or getting them to text me. You don't know about that part, I don't think yet, Tommy, but half of my show is speaking. It's talking about these songs and their themes and the messages. So most of my music has some sort of motivational element, inspiration element, message or story. And my market has been pursuing medium and large organizations and event planners to book shows that way versus slugging it out in the clubs. Like I'm not doing, I mean, I occasionally have a cafe or pub or club show, but that's not where I'm going after. I'm going after more of the business world. So that's kind of my model. The good thing about that, I would say, is that when they pay, of course, when you book gigs, they're usually much better and much more organized than your average club date, unless, of course, you're drawing in hundreds of people to your gigs. So that's my model.
Great. Great. So yeah, so it's quite interesting. Dinus, can you share please your website on the chat so we can check it out later. I will include all of your links, by the way. So at the end, I would like you to email me with your links, so I can include them in the description of the YouTube video. I will email you about this. Just reply and send me your links. So yeah, this is the work of Dinus. It's very interesting. Elton says he could help you later with your sales page. So I'll include you in the email. Just find your names and talk with each other. And Kachin says thanks for reminding him to check out his analytics. All right, we'll have about 10 more minutes. So let's go quickly with, thank you, Dinus. Let's go quickly with Kachin. Kachin, where are you at and where are you going for the next 6 months?
All right. I have two main things here for the next 6 months. One, a very important one, is I quit my job a lot of months, a year ago, and start, investing my money, in order to my money generating other money. I mean, my what I intended to do is not to 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 make my music the only main resource for music, and also I didn't want to spend too much time generating that money, for living. Uh, so I started studying different kind of ways to invest my money, so that way I can have these incomes, and it's not very, it doesn't take too much time. So now I'm focusing in investing here in Spain. So I have that in mind, and that is the hard part, and the creative one, the creative part. Um, we talked about this, Tommy, a couple of weeks ago. It's about a project called Mujica Mantra. It's an audiovisual collective project that will be launched in a couple, maybe in a couple of months. So I'm focusing in that project and only that project because that will then will follow a lot of other things. This project involves a song of a new album, so then then after this project, the album will be released under my label. So, but now it's just that project, the Mujica Mantra. I'll share it with you as soon as the web page is ready. Now it's a work in progress. And I have to. It will be like this kind of case of study, or it's new for me. It's a new way of working with my songs. So I have to build this kind of what you told me about a time bomb project. So
Exactly. I mean, this is a good transition for what I was like. The real reason why we're talking about projects and about the next 6 months is because basically the next essay will be a like a methodology that I created that will fit into everybody's plans that are project related. You know, like short-term projects for the next 2, 3, 6 months, 1 month, 1 week. You know, it's like setting a time frame and having a methodology of how you can get the results you want. And yes, Kachin has really interesting projects going on, and he frames them in terms of projects. You know, time restricted projects that start at that point and finish at that point. So it's quite interesting, and you'll see how everything unfolds in the future. Any questions for Kachin before we move to Bulent? Any advice? Any? Okay, nobody. Everything seems perfect, Kachin, so don't worry. So Elton says, thanks, Dinus. Okay, add me on Facebook. Great. Great. I really like that you're connecting, guys. And eventually we have Bulent. Bulent, I cannot see you, but can you write in the chat? Would you like to share with us your goals for the next 6 months?
Yes. At the moment, I've been advised to put together a newsletter as part of my website, and that's something that I'm working on, trying to come up with content for that. But I mean, I don't quite know I can really use, what kind of content I can generate. I'm trying to work on that, and obviously, and then for more long-term goals, let's basically try and find more musicians to promote. But those are my two main goals at the moment.
Right. So Bulent is a music blogger, and he's very active here in the independent scene of London. Any ideas on Bulent's blog on what kind of content he could generate for what kind of coverages he could make, you know, for independent artists, or any other ideas on content? Yes, please, Bulent, can you provide us the link in the chat? And in the meanwhile, guys, what are your ideas on Bulent? What kind of content could he create? Let's brainstorm for the next 2 minutes. Yes, Guillermo? I mean, let's have one idea. Everybody just drop one idea on what he could create. Guillermo, you're still fighting over there with the button.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Well, one thing that is interesting with indie bands and blogs is to make one of those things called sessions, where you pick a concept or a particular place, where you invite bands to perform, and that's a good way to keep people interested and coming back to your blog, especially if the bands you pick are good bands and bands that people like, that your audience likes. So I think that's something you could do, connected to your blog, to have the name of your blog, sessions, so something like that. And yeah, just pick an interesting spot, and yeah, and then good camera and and that's it.
That sounds like a good idea. Thanks, Guillermo.
I think there is quite a few of them actually in London, Bulan. So if you can, I can connect you with a few art organizers, so you can go and meet with them and cover them. Thank you, Guillermo. Any other ideas? So Nick raised his hand, and Kyle also. Okay, Nick, unmute yourself. Ideas?
Yeah, I guess one possibly easy way to get some content is if you have some bands that you're writing about, get guest content, get other people to write content for you. Pitch to somebody, go, listen, can you write for my blog in a couple of weeks, or can you write me 4 paragraphs or 8 paragraphs in next month, and line a few folks up. That way you don't have to be constantly trying to come up with all this stuff yourself, and they'll give you ideas to bounce off of, and it gives the other folks a forum to write about their ideas, and takes the pressure off you a bit.
Eventually becomes like a little forum where bands will write about their own narratives and provide short pieces of content, with their own stories or an opinion on something. You can have like theme-related days. Like every Friday we're talking about this, so a different band will talk about this in 500 words. Yeah, could be something like that. Okay, Kyle, your ideas?
So yeah, this may help you. You might have to modify it a bit, but basically what I've been doing is I run this open mic every week, and it kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone for me. One, I generate income from it and I enjoy it, and I also am exposed to more of like the local musician scene, because if I provide enough value with the open mic, then word spreads and new people show up all the time. So really, I don't have to, once the open mic is established and the word is out, people will naturally start coming in, and so I don't have to make a ton of effort to be able to network with more musicians. And also that allows me to build a relationship, a professional relationship with the place that I'm hosting the open mic. So that might be, although the talent level is kind of varied with open mics, I mean really varied, if any of you have been to one, it might be a viable option for you to pursue, because you can then leverage that into, sorry guys, you can then leverage that into promotion for other events. It seems like that might be a springboard, I think, for something else, because you're looking to find more artists to promote and also content for your blog. So let's say that you have some artists that perform at the open mic, and you notice that 1 or 2 of them are pretty amazing, or they do something really special or different, then that could be a great piece of content. So you just approach them, and you could even, at the beginning of the open mic, when you're going over the rules of the open mic, or at the end, you can announce over the mic that you have this blog, and you could get content that way, either through an interview or something like that. So that might be something you can do.
Thank you.
So, yeah, comment on that. Yeah, so Kyle says basically you looking for the art to organize something, the artist can come to you, and this way they will come over and you will not for new content. That is quite smart. I mean, it's a lot of different ways of content, and I hope you go with that. We're out of time, and Diney says we can connect you with the magazine, or is that it? Okay, he mentions that then his friend runs infectious, and they have multiple interns. And I think in London that's very, very valid. That people, students, they're looking for ways to enrich their CV. So approach different universities, they get interns that will get their CV enriched, and you'll also get done. It can be a short project for the next 3 days. You can organize something to get an intern for that. I think that's pretty nice. You will all be in the same email. You can connect with each other, with each other, your names, and reach out to each other, and you can exchange it afterwards. So, just to wrap, in general, I think doing this because restricting yourself and saying that I do the next thing, this project of mine for the next months, and I'll be vicious, keep working on it till it succeed, in what I have in mind. And Belen mentioned like that we have. What do you think is the buffer? I think we shouldn't have any buffer. It could probably be minimum. Not well. We should go for what? Who said that? Elton. Instead of going for 6 months, going for 4 months. And pushing ourselves even harder, restricting ourselves with less time, less resources, less of everything. And the methodology that I have developed, Nick, this will be very applicable to you and Kachin as well, is finding, let's say, Nick, you want to reach out to 5 new venues, right? We're playing with percentages here. You can aim for 50 venues, and you're looking for a 10% success rate. Instead of, you find all the emails of the people that you want to reach out to. Eventually, you write what is special about them, the name of the person, and then you send them like an email that you personalize. But the core email, what you're looking for, is very well rehearsed. It's the pitch, it's the thing, the call to action, what you ask them for, and eventually you're looking for responses. Whoever responds, you reply to them. If they don't respond, you follow up till everybody from the list have responded. Till they get sick of you. They either say yes, okay, I'll do what you want me to do because you've asked me 7 times, or they will say like, go to hell, stop bothering me. Right, but you want the response. So if you're looking for 5 venues, you're approaching 50 or 100. Basically, you're looking for a percentage. You're not waiting for everybody to say yes, but you're looking for a response. I think this is a way to approach it. Let's say Kachin, he wants to create a project that will appeal to more people. He needs to find the right influencers to talk about it. Let's say all the right people in different cities to book venues so he can have a small tour. He can do the same thing. Approach the right people, make a list, and then look for a 5 or 10% success rate. Basically, I'm going for a big project, and I want 0.1 success rate. I'm going for 1,000 people, and I want 1 person to reply positively. So this is a way to organize, let's say, to say for the next 6 months, I have 1, 2, 3 goals. I have 6 goals. Every month, I'll focus on 1 specific goal, and I'll be full on for that. Because as Kyle said, I think Kyle said that, for the next 6 months we want to make a part-time living out of that. So how can we do that? We break down the revenue streams, and then we focus for 1 month 100% on this revenue stream, and we make it work. Eventually we break it even more down, and then we make sure that we have a percentage of success rate we want to hit. So if we can make money out of organizing 2 open mic nights, we reach out 100 open mic night venues, and we want 2 of them at least to say positively that yes, come over. We're playing with percentages. So it's all about, for me, my approach, if you're asking me, is about having specific goals for the next 6 months. Like, I want to make a part-time living out of this, that much money, 50% of my living to be out of this, and then 50% a part-time job. Then you break it down on what revenue streams this could be. Let's say you want $1,000, so $200 with this, $200 with this, with this. And then you start breaking down and having time-bound projects. From the beginning of the month till the end of the month, I'll focus on that. And then you're looking for a success rate that is quite small. So you want to find the right people that will connect you with the right opportunities, or the right people that will give you the right job, or the right people that will give you the money, or the right interns. You can call it whatever this is. And then focus on a 10 or 5 or 1 or a 0.1% success rate. So this is a way of managing expectations and being more realistic about the things you're planning to do. Same thing applies for Boulen for his content. The same thing with Dinas. He wants to get 10 corporate, gigs for the next year, so he can have this as a goal. For Elton, for Guillermo, for Kyle, for Nick, for Nikos. So this is my approach. We have a lot of interesting resources. So because this chat will be deleted once we hang up, I will email you, connect with each other through the emails, and also send me back what you would like me to include in the description of YouTube and on Patreon, because I will include your links and your emails. So do that. I'm going to hang up now. So we've spent around an hour and 10 minutes in total. It was really nice thing. I've kept a lot of interesting resources here. I'm going to include them on the YouTube description as well. So thank you guys for attending. That was another cool hangout we had. I hope you got value out of each other's experiences and advice. And it's good to see your faces because we are all on Patreon, and it all makes sense that we're looking for the same thing, but it's good to see faces. So have a good one. Enjoy. Some people are, it's really early, some people it's quite late. Let's have a good one, and we'll speak online soon. Thank you guys.